similar or different from the one you were in now?
During the February Performance Spotlight Week here at the Royal Irish Academy of Music, the composition students have been exploring the work of the American composer Alvin Lucier. Lucier was very interested in the acoustics of sound. So the intersection between music and physics, how sound interacts in a room, how it perhaps resonates an object. Throughout this Spotlight Week with the composers here at the Academy, we have been exploring some of Lucier's installation pieces. So we've 4 installations in particular. The first of those is music on a long, thin wire, which is like a giant monochord. A piece of very thin piano wire is stretched out over a long distance, and it's effectively turned into a speaker, which is then amplified, and environmental conditions change how this sounds. We also have a piece called Empty Vessels, in which a feedback loop is created between a microphone and the speaker, but the microphone itself happens to be inside a glass vase in this instance, or 2 glass vases in this instance. And again, as people walk around the room, as they interact with the objects, you can alter and change the feedback loops that are happening through environmental pressure, through the temperature and things like that. Out in the main foyer of the Academy, as everybody comes in, they're greeted with music for pure waves, bass drums and acoustic pendulums. And this is a piece that has, in our case, 4 hand drums, and behind each drum there's a speaker. And those speakers are tuned to the kind of resonating frequencies of the drums themselves. So as the speaker pushes sound out, the sound physically pushes the skins of the drums, and attached to pendulums just sitting at the very tip of the drums are ping pong balls, and the ping pong balls start to bounce in sympathetic resonance against the drums. And then throughout the day we've been performing what is probably Lucier's most famous piece, I Am Sitting in a Room. And it's a very beautiful example of Lucier's approach to acoustics and a simple idea set in motion. So each of the students has recorded the very famous text, I'm sitting in a room different from the one you are in now. And throughout this text, Lucier effectively explains the piece. A text is recited and played out into the room. This is recorded, and that recording is played back into the room, and it keeps going through this cyclical process. And eventually, frequencies that are within the voice and that are resonated within the space, they start to take over. And by the end of that piece, after 20, 30, 40 minutes, depending on the space, in essence, the room is singing. And all you're left with is the sound of the room and all those frequencies inherent in the room, but you have no speech left whatsoever.